Revenge films.
It was about 10-something years ago, but my ex-husband left me for another woman. I had twins around that time, and I was deeply shocked. Normally, people would get a lawyer and move on from there, but because I was shocked and caught up with twin brothers, I couldn't manage to find time to request alimony or child support. He was the type to have an affair. Obviously, he didn't worry about me or the kids at all, and I received nothing from him. Raising one child is already tough enough. Having twin brothers was beyond tough. And with the help of my family and my sister's family, I was able to raise them and live as well. However, because they were twins, they would get sick together. But one would be fine, and the other would be sick still, and it was chaos. Back then, there weren't a lot of friendly looks in the office for working mothers as well, and I am so grateful my family was willing to help. My sister had kids of her own, and when I couldn't do anything about work, she would look after them, and sometimes her children would be sick because of my kids. But my sister always said, "Kids get well pretty fast. You don't worry about it and get to work. Leave the twins to me." And her husband also said,
"We're family, so we'll support you every step of the way."
Before I said anything to him. And so, with the help of my family, the twins grew up to become middle schoolers, when suddenly, my ex-husband contacted me. Because I was living very chaotically, I had forgotten to delete his number from my phone. I couldn't believe it when I saw his name. And when I picked up, he told me that his child that he had with his now wife, his affair partner, has a very serious disease that needs a transplant. They checked the parents, but they weren't able to meet the requirements, and so he wanted his other twin sons to help out. I obviously declined, and when my parents heard this, they were furious, and even my sister's side was angry too. It was rare for them to get that angry. Well, it wasn't a surprise. After my ex-husband left me and the kids, they all basically raised the twins. My parents had it rough too, and they gave us a lot of money too. A transplant meant that they would leave a scar on my kids. And because the twins were treasured by everyone in my family, I obviously declined. But he wouldn't budge and persuaded me to let them take an exam. Because they had exams coming up, I thought the best way to quiet him down was for them to take the exam, much like a regular health checkup. The results said that they matched about 75%. My ex-husband heard this and said,
"That's my child! They're twins! So they're one and the same! Hooray!"
and cheered aloud. They went on to say, "Our child is saved now! Thank God!" And,
"Let's move the transplant earlier!"
all by themselves. But I stepped in and said, excuse me, but I don't plan on them accepting the transplant. Very quickly. You know, they're middle schoolers with entrance exams coming up. Transplants have heavy risks, so I never wanted them to accept it either way. When they heard me say this, they looked as if they didn't believe a word I said. A few moments later, his new wife grabbed me with a bright red face. "I know you hate us, but our child has nothing to do with this," she said. But I laughed. "Your husband abandoned my kids for a life with you and left nothing for us. The reason those two grew up so well was because of my parents and sister's family supporting us all the way. What happens to your child has nothing to do with my children, and they have their own futures. I can't let them take the risk of losing their lives as well." As I spoke, my voice became much more angry. I think that was everything I had bottled up inside of me. Then, my ex-husband got down to the ground and pleaded.
"He's a child we finally got when I was 40 years old! Please!"
And cried. I saw him cry, but felt next to nothing for him. In order to raise my kids, I cried much, much more than that. We had tough times just so you guys can live a happy one. I couldn't feel anything for tears that were very self-centered. I think they never thought about the fact that I would refuse, and fully thought that their child was saved before this conversation. His new wife was crying out loud, and my ex-husband was pleading,
"Please! Please!"
on repeat. My children have entrance exams. I can't make them go through surgery now. What are you guys gonna do if something happens to my kids? What will you do if your child is saved and mine are damaged? This isn't a joke. I want to save my children, like you want to save your own. I see you're trying to kill our son. You must be proud of yourself, huh? His wife said. I honestly felt next to nothing at this point. And for them to contact us right as my twins turned 15 just made me sick to my stomach. I wonder what they thought my kids were, since they didn't contact us at all before that. I got upset about their attitude and said, "Is that the attitude you take to someone you're trying to convince? If you're going to get upset over the person who couldn't make a healthy baby," I said, knowing I shouldn't have. And this caused huge damage on her. I wasn't planning to get revenge or anything. But she stole my husband when I had twins, and she must have been proud of herself then. And their actions all led to this moment. So they get what they deserve. I don't have anything against their child, and I honestly don't know if I can say the same thing once I see him. But to have the chance that my own kids would be at risk after all that our family went through to raise them, I wouldn't be able to forgive myself for that decision. And the only person that can protect my kids is myself. I hope your child gets better. Goodbye. When I was about to leave, his wife came and almost attacked me. And while I tried to run away, she hit me with her hand and left a bruise on my face. My ex-husband came to say something, but I said, "I'm not going to request an alimony for this. So please, never, ever get close to me or my kids again. Ever since you left me and the kids, we're strangers now." And left the receipt for the twins' checkup. I haven't heard from them since, so I don't know what happened to their child. I explained to them what had happened after everything ended. They looked like they thought about something. But I told them I didn't want them to risk their lives at this stage of their lives. And they understood my decision. And they were surprised to learn about their new younger sibling too. But luckily for them, they were able to complete their entrance exams and go to their dream schools. My family and my sister's family were all so happy for them. The reason they have grown up to be amazing kids was all thanks to my family and my sister's family. I understand that there aren't a lot of cases where a divorce due to an affair goes well. But if he had supported us with child support, then things may have ended differently. And I still can't believe something like that can happen in real life. But it was all real, and the reason things ended like this was because of their own misdeeds.
How was today's video? If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Stay tuned for more.